Get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Timer's ticking. Last chance to hit those likes. Let's get the party started.
Let's jump into the Bitcoin chart.
What's going on, everyone? Good afternoon, everyone. Just to start out the stream, the chat is definitely pretty interesting in the pre-chat lobby today. Definitely a really interesting chat. Someone said that what was someone saying? Someone was saying that I always sell when I think it's gonna pump, and I'm always gonna buy when I think it's gonna dump. Yet I think I've never said that I'm never gonna sell. I never ever said I was gonna sell anything. Pretty interesting. Definitely an interesting chat to start the stream. But hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Thanks for everyone who's coming and watching live, and as always, thanks to everyone is going to watch this after, right? Watch this after we're live. But anyways. No tunnel. I'm adding something new, so I have to remove the tunnel for now. We'll see if I bring back the tunnel though. So, as we're kind of jumping into the chart, guys, I mean, this is the 4-hour chart. We're really just in some type of symmetrical triangle. What I really want to talk about today, guys, and some of the longer term outlooks, and what I expect to actually see over the course of the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay. We're going to take a look at my MA extension tool here and see we actually retested a critical area on this, which every time we test this, we tend to test our 21-week EMA. We're going to go over that. We're also going to go over some of our RSI stuff on the weekly, and also look at some of our Fibonacci levels on the weekly. But first, obviously, we're going to start out with our short-term time frame stuff. Plot twist, don't shut up and take my money. What's up, Robbie? Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you're doing well as always. But anyways, we're going to jump onto the chart here. On the 1 hour time frame, right? I mean, we're trying to hold a pretty critical level. This morning, we were kind of looking at maybe something of being as some type of head and shoulders pattern that we thought was going to break to the downside, right? Something along the lines of having a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to play out. It looks like that's kind of thrown out the window, at least for now. Even if we look at some of the smaller time frames, this would be some big freaking shoulder. This guy would have need some massive shoulder surgery for us to still be a head and shoulders pattern. But on the 1 hour time frame, I think you can kind of somewhat invalidate that head and shoulders pattern. So what are we going to do next? Well, really, Bitcoin's pretty much going sideways right now, guys. I mean, if you really look at it from more of a point of view of really scrolling out, I mean, you really just keep bouncing off this green box here around 33,800, right? And it kind of keeps switching as your resistance, back into support, back into your resistance, right? It just keeps bouncing off that area. So what I'm kind of looking for now, and what I'm kind of looking at the chart right now, is I don't see anything really on the hourly, right? We don't have any bullish divergence. We don't have any bearish divergence. No, I don't want to go to Luke Bryan's concert. Come on. I don't want to go to Luke Bryan's concert. It wouldn't be that bad. I think I'm kind of overrating. I'm kind of selling out there. But anyways, looks like Bitcoin's trying to at least get a bounce to the upside right now. We'll see where this ends up. But we do have some pretty big resistance, it looks like, at about 34,162. I'm actually going to put a resistance line there. It seems like we're having a tough time breaking this general level, where you can see this is a pretty big level as well, right? Lot of support, right? Flipped into, well, that flipped as resistance, but support there, then flipped as resistance, and now resistance again. So we got to get back over about 34,130 on I would like to see a 1 hour close above that level before we get our next move up to our eventual next resistance that we'll look at next, right? So what else do we look at in the 1 hour real quick? I mean, we can look at our fibs here. It looks like on this Fibonacci, from our last swing high to our last swing low, our first initial impulse, we went right to that golden pocket at the 0.65 and 0.618. So that was absolutely perfect there. And then what do? Well, we pulled back to the 236, and now we're getting some resistance at the 382. So another example of how the Fibonacci retracement can work very, very well as far as where you're going to end up having some resistance. So that 0.382 is giving us some headaches right now. We'll see if we can break that coming up next. But it's really that 0.65 and 0.618 Fibonacci level I'm looking at approximately about 35,000 or so here on the 1 hour as our major resistance. Flipping on over to our 4 hour chart. Our 4 hour chart. This is really what we're waiting for. I mean, we could talk about the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 3 hour, the 2 hour, the 1 minute, right? We could talk about all these time frames, but really what we're waiting for right now is a breakout of one of these two patterns. So we have this rising channel where we've had actually 4 touches on both sides pretty clearly, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually this wasn't a touch, but we had 2 touches there. You guys get the point, right? I don't have to be exact. You guys get what I'm saying. But yeah, pretty clear rising channel here, which typically, right, is a bearish pattern, right? When you're coming from the downside and you start kind of oscillating your way up here in a upwards pattern, making higher lows and higher highs, until you really break that previous high and make a higher high, it still is a bearish pattern, which has a tendency to break down to the downside. Our breakdown target for this would actually be our flag, our pole here, right? If you extrapolate that at your breakout point, I don't know why I took that entire thing. If we actually take this from our breakout point, that would give us a target of pretty low, right? That would give us a target of about 22,700. So I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. You guys know what I think that our where I think if we do go lower, we're going to bounce, right? That 0.618. That 0.618 on the 4 hour time frame. All right, I just pressed the whale. You gotta say hi to the whale. He wanted to really say hi. I accidentally pressed the button, but here he is. Everyone say hi. All right, we're going whale watching. We are up here in the old Commonwealth, Massachusetts, so I guess it kind of makes some sense. Say hi to the whale. Anyways, we're waiting for a breakout of really the symmetrical triangle, which you can see we're in this symmetrical triangle. We're in this symmetrical triangle, and we're holding the bottom of the rising channel instead, right? So we probably come up here and we're going to see if we can break the symmetrical triangle. If we can't and we drop here it's going to be like what I believe it probably will happen, at least in the short term, is I think that we're going to come up here, get rejected, come back down, come back up, retest the bottom again, and then eventually break, either break this to the upside or downside, depending on, you know, what the sentiment is at the time. I think right now, just looking at kind of where we are in the trend, I do think that downwards is probably a little bit more likely here in the short term. I know it's not the popular thing to say. I know it's not gonna get me the most fans, but at the end of the day, I think down a little bit down, breaking down from this probably makes the most sense because we know at the end of the day we are in like a longer term kind of falling channel almost, right? We know that, we've been looking at that forever. So I think breaking down would make more sense in the grand scheme of things here. Now, I don't think we dropped, like I said, I don't think we dropped to 22,700. I think that's kind of ridiculous. We'll look at some of our targets coming up next here in the longer term time frames. But in the short term, if we can get back above this 4-hour EMA, probably expect a retest at the top of this triangle here for BTC. Now, you know, we did have bullish divergence on the 4-hour, but that kind of already played out, where we did have lower lows on the RSI and higher lows on the triangle, right? So that already played out. You got a nice pump, you got rejected. Now we got to hope that we can break it on our next, hopefully that we get another one, we get another back test up to the upside, and you know, break that old resistance and then try to confirm it as new support. What I used to say, that's what I used to say. Have a hurricane going through it. Probably should, right? It's breaking out. Trying to break out. It's got to break this kind of 34,130. That's really the level we're waiting for on the 1 hour at least at the moment. What was I gonna say here? Let me go to our next charts. Wait, what the? All my charts. Oh man, that sucks. Anyways, on the daily time frame, what I think I had here at the time was my indicators. I think me refreshing the entire screen made me lose all my charts. So that is quite frustrating. But I think what I had here is basically just the RSI and the stock RSI. And we're kind of just looking at, you know, what we kind of really have going on here. I mean, we are topped out on the daily RSI and the stock, or topped out on the stock RSI and the daily RSI. Not really telling us much, right? We did have crazy bullish divergence on the RSI, but unfortunately, hasn't really told us much since that kind of already played out, right? We already got that initial impulse to the upside, but unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. So we'll see what happens here on the daily. If we bring up some of our moving averages here, our 50, 100, and 200. You know, obviously we're still well below all these moving averages, right? Our 50, 100, 200. At the end of the day, like, you know, until we start really testing some of these moving averages, you know, it is something that we have to keep an eye on here. So that's really that. We really haven't even came up and retested even the 50-day moving average. And if we actually try to make this into the 20, I think that let's bring this 20. Yeah, we're currently getting some resistance at that 20-day moving average, which, you know, we're it's just safe to say that we're below pretty much every single freaking moving average right now. So that's kind of the daily time frame, the stuff I really wanted to look at there. The MACD is still kind of just going sideways on it. I'm not going to bring it up because it's really just, it's a nothing burger at the moment, as we know. So also what I want to look at in the daily time frame was, you know, if we did theoretically break down from this, you know, either rising channel, bear flag, or symmetrical triangle, whichever way you want to call it, right? I do think a move, I'll show you guys what I think the move will be in my personal opinion, and also show you what the breakdown target of the symmetrical triangle would put us somewhere around 29,400, which I think makes a little bit more sense. We have some support at that general area. We've wicked down to that area, general area once, and almost twice, right? So that $29,000 area, 30,000 would make somewhat sense of a breakdown from that symmetrical triangle. Now, what I also did want to look at, if for any guys that don't watch my streams regularly, you guys know that I don't think we're going to break below between 25,000 and really, let me get the log chart here, between 25,000 and approximately about 27,000. I think that's the lowest we personally go for BTC in my personal opinion. And the reason why is like we've talked about before, right? The 0.618 Fibonacci and the 0.65 from our bear market low to our bull market high is sitting between 27,000 and 25,000. So I think, worst case scenario, we do get another dip. I think we do have a pretty fast recovery from that level. Now, what I've seen people talk about actually on the Fibonacci's is if you actually take your low from the Fibonacci and you take it from where you actually think that the bull market started, right? And I know people are going to go,
nope.
but you actually take it from where you think the bull market really started. And I think where the bull market really started was at this low right here in September, right? Because other than that, we were going sideways. And I've seen other people talk about this too, and I think it makes a lot of sense. You take it from what really started and you extrapolate that kind of back up to your top, right? You can see in that scenario that our 0.618 and our 0.65 is in between about 31,000 and about 29,000, right? Perfectly where we've gotten support multiple times. So, and perfectly where we actually got support back here as well. So, I mean, I can see that scenario too, where maybe we even don't go lower, right? But, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. We have a bunch of freaking stuff to talk about here on this stream. But that's one thing I did want to touch on, because I think that's the most common question I personally get is, if we dip lower, when should I put my buy orders in? And I just gave you a bunch of levels, right? Whether it's you're looking at your current patterns you're in, whether you're currently looking at, some of your Fibonacci levels. There's a tons of different places where you can kind of you can ladder in your buys. I always recommend dollar cost averaging. Don't just buy everything right now. If you are looking at dollar cost average, if you still have fiat left, which we've been consolidating and dipping for 2 months now, so maybe a lot of people are out of fiat, but the people that do have fiat looking to enter now, always dollar cost average, maybe put 10-20% in at a time and kind of try to average down as you kind of go. I think that's the best scenario you can kind of get there. Another thing, I think Algo just kind of mentioned it in the chat here. I think that everyone was talking about, just real quick, and I'm kind of going to ramble on a bunch of stuff today. So buckle up, all right? Buckle up. I think this head and shoulders that people were talking about right here, maybe you can even looking at it on the weekly time frame. On the weekly, I think it still is somewhat valid. But I think a lot of people were originally talking about it on the daily, and I just don't think it's valid on the daily anymore. I mean, this is kind of this right shoulder, like I just said, it's almost like this guy, whoever this guy is, Bitcoin, right? It's actually a girl. Ethereum doesn't know though. So, she's gonna need some surgery, right? She's gonna need some surgery on this right shoulder. So I think on the daily, this is kind of invalidated, right? I don't see the scenario where this turns out to be a head and shoulders pattern that everyone and their mother was talking about, a couple weeks ago, right? Including myself, right? I was looking at the possibility of it. I think on the weekly, it's still valid. You can still look at it on the weekly because you still kind of have that rounded formation on the weekly. It's not too long on the weekly time frame, but on the daily, I think that's kind of invalidated personally, in my personal opinion. Let me see if I can actually do this. Oh, these are still good. Oh, perfect. Let's freaking go. Those ones didn't get deleted. Thank you. Thank you, kind sir, for saving these charts for me. Anyways, we're going to jump on into, it did get rid of my freaking fractal though. You guys know the fractal. We don't have to look at the fractal again. You guys know the fractal we talk about every single day. We'll look at it again tomorrow. Unfortunately, the whale that came through accidentally pressed refresh. It wasn't me. I'm blaming it on the damn whale. Fortunately, it pressed refresh on me. But anyways, on the daily time frame, right? I think a lot of people were talking about this, us falling down from this ascending triangle pattern here, including myself yesterday. And it does look like we did. It looks like, we were in this ascending triangle, making higher lows, same point in the top side. Looks like we did break down. We came back up and confirmed that as resistance now. Now we're waiting to see when we get this new day, are we going to get rejected, have a red candle, and start moving away from this trend line, right? If we do, that's probably going to validate the breakout of that ascending triangle. The one thing that I can say about this is the volume just wasn't great on this. I'm going to get rid of some of these. You guys can see this a little better here. I'm going to bring up the volume here. The volume on that breakout wasn't great, right? We're actually still seeing pretty much declining volume, right? We haven't really seen that big volume breakout yet. Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. I don't want to jinx it, right? But even since we were really in that kind of, you can even say we start from here, you can see the volume in general is still tapering off in general, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I still think in the daily, we're in some type of consolidation pattern. It's just not really clear what we're doing. And like I've said multiple times, as long as we hold this green box here, we don't break below this green box, I think we're good. Today, we held it pretty nicely, right? We got support, and we're still holding it as support before as we flipped it as resistance. So I think we're good. I think we're good for now in the daily. Like I said, if we do break this green box, probably look for a move back down to this green box, approximately about 30,300 on the daily time frame. But that's really what I have to say on the daily. Not much else besides that. We don't have any, I don't think we have any bearish divergence here on the daily. Let me just double check here. Yeah, I don't really see any bearish divergence on the daily, and no bullish divergence either, as I'm seeing here on the daily time frame. So everything looks fine here in the daily for now. Bullish divergence on the volume. Yeah, pretty much. Still haven't think we had the AZTV said still think we haven't had the real spring. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We don't really know yet, right? We don't really know yet. I know Elon tweeted a couple times. What I think is good though is Elon didn't really have an effect overall on the price, right? I mean, his tweets I think were kind of weird, right? I don't think we really know if his tweets were bullish or bearish, and I think that's why we didn't really see an effect on the price, at least yet, right? So we'll find out. If we look at the weekly time frame on BTC, and this is what I really want to talk about today. You guys know the title. Bitcoin's probably going to retest the 21-week moving average pretty soon, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean we have to pump to it. And I want to clearly say that in the beginning of this kind of overview of my MA extension, I guess you can call it indicator here, right? Is it doesn't mean Bitcoin has to pump to the 21-week moving average. We can go sideways to the 21-week moving average. You guys might say, how does that make sense? How do we go sideways to a moving average? Well, time, right? If a moving average is above you, time is going to make that moving average go down towards your price action and eventually meet the price, right? So look where we are now, right? A 21-week is currently sitting at 40,562. So I'm gonna start out with kind of going over what our scenarios here of retesting the 21-week moving average and why, based off this indicator down here, that I do believe that we at least retest it. I don't know if we break it, right? I don't know if we break it, but I think we at least retest it here within the next couple weeks, right? So we have two scenarios we could do, right? First of all, we could just pump and retest the 21-week moving average, just like this. As it comes down, we can just pump and retest it, right? That's easy enough to kind of say. I guess that kind of makes the most sense. Now, we can also go sideways, right? If Bitcoin goes sideways here for another 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, this is going to continue to move down, right? And eventually, it's going to hit where we are, right? Obviously, it's not going to be that perfect, it's not going to be the exact, but we can also go sideways here and allow it to come to us instead of allowing the price action to go to the 21-week. I'm going to show you guys why it's pretty important, right? That we actually go up and retest it and see if we actually can break it, or at least try to break it, confirm it as support, because you can break it, but until you confirm it as support, it doesn't mean anything. And I'll go over why. If we actually look here, laugh at me, watch when it dips. I don't think anyone doesn't, EB in the chat, man, I don't think anyone doesn't think it can dip. It can always dip, right? It can always dip. I mean, like I said, the whales kind of, that's why I had a whale come across the screen. Bitcoin can always dip. But anyways, as we look here in 2017, right, we had the bear market start right here. No one knew it was the bear market. Yeah, everyone probably thought, I can't remember 4 years ago, man. But at this time, everyone thought the bull market was still on, right? The bull market was still on. We got back above the 21 week, right? And we tried to come back down and test it. So we got back above it. Perfect. Good to go, right? Everyone probably thought, oh, we're going to the moon, right? We're continuing the 2017 bull market. But what did we do? We came back down to retest it, try to confirm it as support, and then continue up. But what did we do? Well, we broke right back below it. And we came back up, rejected, and then we kind of started down. So this is what I mean is you can get above it, but you got to confirm it as support after you get above it. And this is all going to lead into what my point is, guys. So bear with me here, all right? Bear with me. If you get it, guys. Bear with me. You guys are probably, this guy is so stupid. His dad jokes. Same thing we did here, right? We actually, this time we came back down, tested as support, came back up, and then we got rejected. And ever since then, we got it back above it, but, we eventually dipped. And this is going to lead to my point. And then in 2013, we came up here, dropped below it slightly, we got back above it and continued. All right, so now that we got that over with, there's also more times back here, but we're not going to go over every single time, right? No one wants to sit here this entire time and watch me ramble. All right, we're going to zoom out here. So what is going on down here with this indicator? So this is my MA extension indicator. It shows you kind of how far you're extended from the 21-week moving average at kind of a real time. So this update's obviously real time as the new weekly candle kind of closes here. So basically what we're going here is this blue line here is where the 21-week moving average is on the chart. And the yellow line is basically showing you how far away if you're extended from that 21 week. So as we know right now, we're below the 21 week, and that's why we're sitting below that green line. And as you can see in every single bull market, right, we top out perfectly, or every single top, we top out perfectly at this trend line, right? In 2011, right? In 2013, and 2017, and in this market, right? Every single time we top out perfectly on this trend line. You can't even argue that that has some type of significance, right? You cannot even argue that. You have 5 touch points now. If it was 3 touch points, all right, you can kind of call it a coincidence. When you have 5 touch points, I don't know if you can call it a coincidence. You could even argue that you have 6 touch points because this one actually touched twice almost perfectly there. So I don't know if you can call that coincidence. But anyways, on the bottom side, right, every single time we go into this green box, it always tends to be either a bear market bottom or it tends to be a relative local bottom where shortly afterwards, we actually go up and retest the 21-week moving average. We have right here in the bottom of the 2011 bull market or bear market, we went into the green box. Eventually what happened? Well, we got back over the 21-week and then we started the bull market, right? So that is just one example. Right here in the 2013 first drop in 2013 right here. If we actually zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. The first drop in 2013 right here at the bottom. We didn't go quite into the green box, but we fell down below the 20-week. Didn't quite retest it. But what did we do? Well, after that, we continued up to the upside, right? Let's continue on over. So this is when it starts getting a little dicey. This is when it gets, right? At this point, you might say, all right, so every time this hits the green box, it's probably the best time to buy. Not necessarily, right? And I'm going to show you guys why. It's not all rainbows and sunshines every single time. This time, right, we continued kind of in our bear market. We hit the green box here. What did that mean? Well, if you zoom in closely, we actually came down here. We actually got a slight pump and retested the 21-week moving average, which obviously in the indicator shows right here that we retested the 21-week moving average. All right, perfect. Now what? Well, let's zoom in a little bit more. Right here, bottomed out in the bear market, bottomed out on the indicator, and we went up and tested the 21-week and eventually kind of started that momentum into finally starting that bull market, right? We're kind of riding that 21-week all the way up until. So you can see so far every single time, and my point of this is every single time we hit this green box, every single time, we always go back up to at least test the 21-week moving average. We never just hit it and then kind of continue lower. We always go back up and test the moving average first, and then either continue up or continue down. And this is kind of where I'm going with this, all right? We're going to continue here to make my point, all right? Right here, right? It was the start of the bear market. Yes, it was the start of the bear market for 2017. But what do? We got a nice bounce to the upside. This was about a 50% bounce. I just know because I looked at it before. 50% bounce. We retested the 21 week, couldn't hold it, and dropped back down. So once again, we came back up to the 21 week every single time. And I could go through every single time, guys. It's pretty textbook. It's pretty damn textbook that every single time we hit this green box, we always shortly after go up and test the 21 week or continue a bull market. You can see where we just hit right now, right here. So I think it's likely over the course of the next couple weeks that we at least come back up here and test the 21 week moving average, which we just talked about up here. And my first point is either us getting a pump up to that 21 week or us going sideways like this while we wait for the 21 week at moving average to catch up to us. And then we hit it. And then we decide, are we going to get back over it and continue the bull market? Or are we going to get rejected and continue back in to the deep depths of crypto? The deep depths of crypto. So that's kind of what I had here on this, guys. I mean, my basic TLDR for anyone that just joined now is we're going to retest that 21 week moving average. And it's critical that not only we break it back to the upside, but we also break it to the upside and we retest it as freaking support, right? We don't just want to break it. We want to retest it as freaking support. So I would prefer, if it was up to me, I would prefer that we actually go sideways a little bit longer here. Let this cool down a little bit more, because the longer we cool down, I think a perfect thing is, I've heard other people say this, but the perfect example is it being like a beach ball and you're in the pool and you're trying to push it down. The longer you try to push it down, the deeper you get it, right? And the deeper you get it, when you finally let it go, the higher it's going to freaking go. This is getting so weird. The farther you push it down, the higher that beach ball is going to friggin' pop up in the air, right? So, man, we're going to test that 21 week moving average. That's my basic interpretation of this. The tattoo test. It might be the tattoo test. If we can't get back above it, that might constitute in me actually getting the Dogecoin tattoo, right? So we'll wait and see. Another point, we looked at this mostly yesterday. It's kind of a similar thing, right? Where we're at a swing level on the RSI, where typically this is either make or break for Bitcoin as far as, are we in a bull market still, or are we in a bear market? We looked at this in the past. Right here, we bounced off this level in 2013. Boom, continue the bull market. Right here, we bounced off this level. Couldn't get up, couldn't get back up. We continue the bear market. Right here, we bounced off of it. Bull market. Right here, we bounced off of it. Bear market. Right here, we bounced off of it. Obviously had the March crash, but eventually, obviously, it led to a bull market. So, will this happen, right? Will we bounce off of this and continue the bull market, or will we break this and reach our lows again before inevitably hitting our next bull market, but obviously having maybe a little bit more downside action? We'll have to wait and see. Stock RSI still chilling, right? Stock RSI is like this. I'm just going to wait for the RSI. I'm chilling. I'm just chilling like a villain down here at the bottom. That's pretty much what the stock RSI is doing, man. So we'll see what happens there on the stock, but it is waiting. It is waiting. You guys can see it down here. It is waiting to continue back up to the upside here. So that's the stock RSI. We really already looked at this in the weekly time frame, but I don't really want to touch on this again. Basically, the 0.618, 0.65 could be a level that we bounce from here if we do dip lower, right? Between 25,000 and 27,000. That's the range. We talked about that a little bit earlier, right? Man, your boy's out of breath here. Your boy is out of breath. Going on a rant about the exponential moving average. Who would have thought that I would go on a rant about the exponential moving average? Not me. Not me. By the way, guys, is the volume a little bit better today? Let me know if the volume is a little bit better today. And also, if these sound like more normal, right? Just to give you an example.
Everybody panic. We're going to zero.
If that kind of matches the sound of my voice a little better, let me know. I tried to fix that today. If it's not, I spent like 2-3 hours trying to fix the volume today. It's a pain in the butt. But let me know if that sounds a little bit better. All right, so let's go over some of the Ethereum chats. Ethereum.
This is my wife, Ethereum.
So anyways, Ethereum on the 4-hour chart. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close to a breakout for my kind of, we're getting close to a breakout from this rising wedge that we've been looking at least yesterday. I think we started looking at this yesterday. Sounds good. Thank you. All right, cool. I'm glad that is much better now. Fix the BTC volume. I got you, Britt. I got you on the volume, man. Or gal, I should say. I call everyone man. I mean, what's wrong with me, dude? I've been working on that. You guys know I've been working on that. But anyways, we are in a rising wedge where we're just kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down for Ethereum. So we know this is typically a bearish pattern. Now, even if we do break this to the downside, I think we're going to have pretty good support here at, around 2,000 to 2,050, where we've had a couple lows and really a couple supports and a couple resistances. So I think we have pretty good support in that general $2,000 to $2,050 range. So even if we do break down, I don't think that we necessarily hit our measure move target, which would be, right, we know our measure move target out of this is the bottom of the wedge at about 1750. I don't want my wife to go down that far, even though I'm perfectly cool with Ethereum going down, as you guys know. But I don't want her to go down that much. I think I would get sick of it at that point. So 2,000, 2,050 is the level I'm kind of watching here for Ethereum. We did have bearish divergence on ETH, but I think that already kind of played out, right? I think that already played out. Now, if we look at this from the hourly time frame, it was looking like some type of cup and handle, but I don't know if it's very valid anymore. I was looking at it before the stream. I thought it was looking pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, it still could be some type of cup and handle if we can break this sort of resistance. You do have this cup. Where is it? You do have this sort of cup, and you do have sort of handle forming. If you can break this resistance, I think you'd be pretty good to go. The measure move on something along these lines. Thank you, MT. Appreciate the shout out. That's awesome. Definitely appreciate it. But Ethereum, if you do take this from top to bottom to top and extrapolate this up, that would break you out of the, I guess, the rising wedge. But like I said, it's sort of a sloppy kind of cup and handle formation. And yeah, that's what we're kind of waiting for. So do we have any bearish divergence on the hourly? No bullish divergence. Actually, you might have some bullish divergence here on the hourly time frame, or you did have some bullish divergence on the hourly time frame. If you look at this, if you look at this, you do have some higher lows on the price action and lower lows on the RSI. So this kind of already did play out, but you do have some nice bullish divergence on Ethereum. Hopefully that has enough juice to kind of push you up past this trend line and break you out here. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on and stream today. We are at a pretty nice resistance level for Ethereum if we can break that. If we go back to the 4-hour, stock RSI still has some room to run up here. That's pretty much it on the 4-hour. Actually, let me get my moving averages here. We're still above all our moving averages. We're still above all our moving average. We actually bounced perfectly off our 200 and our our 200 and our 20-day, 24-hour moving averages perfectly. You can see right here, we got back above them. It was your support, turned to resistance, now flipped as support again. So perfect. Exactly what you want to see there for Ethereum. Switching on over to the daily. What are we doing here on the daily time frame? Well, the 50? Yeah, the 50-day moving average is giving you some headaches here for Ethereum, but you're still clearly way far above the 20-day and obviously far and ahead above the 200-day now. So looking good here as far as moving averages go on the daily, But really, if you look at this, if I get rid of these real quick, if you look at this, I mean, it's really this level right here. I mean, your previous support, now you don't want to flip that into a resistance. Obviously, sometimes it's as simple as that. Simple as support and resistance. People try to get way too crazy with all these indicators and all this type of stuff. Sometimes it's as simple as not wanting to flip a support into resistance. And that's really what you're looking here on Ethereum on the daily time frame, at least at the moment. A couple things on the daily for ETH is I am seeing a couple bearish signs, at least in the short term here for Ethereum. If you look at this from last two highs right here, we do have lower highs on the price action and higher highs on the RSI, which is classic bearish divergence on the RSI. And you do have plenty of room to also to the run to the downside. So obviously what would invalidate this is the price action getting back above this previous high here from June 15th. That's what would invalidate that sort of price action there. So I hope that doesn't push us back down, but bearish divergence on the daily is definitely no joke, guys. We're also topped out on our stock RSI there. So we could need to round that back down to the downside too. Obviously, we can stay up there for days. We can stay up there for weeks, honestly. Doesn't really necessarily have to mean anything, but it is something to keep an eye on. So the daily, you're right at resistance. Yeah, bearish divergence. Stock RSI is topped out. You might need to come back down a little bit and maybe retest this green box and confirm it as support, because you did that, I guess, once, but maybe you need to do it again. We'll have to wait and see. Daily, looks okay to me. Weekly, check out the weekly real quick on ETH. Let me get rid of some of these bad boys. Ethereum on the weekly, I think looks fine. I mean, if you look at it from a more of a macro view, which I like to do, right? You just kind of, overall, I mean, it just looks like you kind of flip previous resistance into new support. That's really all it comes down to for me, guys. I mean, got your previous resistance, flip it as support once and twice. Actually, a nice little double bottom here, which is really cool. So weekly looks fine. Weekly looks fine. You also could have some type of W formation forming here if you can break this previous high at approximately about oh man, that card sounds like absolute crap. Oof, man. Every single time that card goes by. Anyways, you do have a W pattern that if you can get back above 28, about 2,900, you do have a W reversal pattern that could be forming here, which would have a breakout target of, up towards your high. So it is something to look at there. I think the weekly looks pretty good on Ethereum. Overall, moving averages, obviously, the really one I'm only concerned about is the 20-day. And that one, you are currently right above it. We're sitting right above that 20-day moving average there for on the, the 20-week moving average there for Ethereum. So everything kind of looks good on Ethereum. And I did want to spend some extra time on Ethereum today because Ethereum is looking super good on the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio that we'll look at in just a second. Civic. Michael said, LOL, I hope that guy watches. Me too. Oh, I got invisible water today. I got invisible water today, guys. Invisible water. Anyways, Ethereum looks good on the weekly, guys. ETH Bitcoin ratio. This is something new, right? Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. I mean, I guess it's not something new. We've looked at it the last couple of days. We've looked at this, honestly, since the beginning of my channel, since down here. And it's a big reason why I love Ethereum so much, because it really has been such a good performer as far as our top altcoins go. But if we look at this, I mean, we looked at this current starting of a kind of a bull flag here on the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. Could be an incredible move coming for Ethereum against Bitcoin once again. Kind of like we saw really from what was it, January? Yeah, it was about April to about May. I don't know why I said January, but it's really been outperforming Bitcoin since 2019, right? It's been a kind of consistent uptrend against Bitcoin. So, I mean, if we look at this, like we talked about before, our breakout target for this is insane. I think it was another about 75% move against BTC. We looked at it yesterday. If we do break this to the upside, puts us right at 12.5 cents, which is no coincidence, is almost exactly where our local high is right here from February 18th. You can't make that stuff up. Can't make it up. So, I mean, like I said, that's about a... from where you are right now, if we did break out, it's about an 85% gain against Bitcoin. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It doesn't have to happen that way. You obviously have a big resistance box here to break back above first. But Ethereum could be killing it against Bitcoin if we can break this resistance. If. The big if. It's a very big if, actually. So make sure we're watching that here for the most part. This is not looking too good for us. What's going on with BTC? What's not looking so good? We're looking fine right now. What's the doom and gloom about, guys? What is the doom and gloom about? The daily looks bearish, but at the end of the day, guys, let's look. I mean, we're at the same prices we were at 2 weeks ago. Same prices overall that we've been in. Really, I mean, in general, I mean, we're pretty much going sideways. We're going slightly down and sideways, which I think is actually bullish. Like if we were going like, if we were creating some type of bear flag, like something like this, where we're kind of going up and sideways, I would think that would be more bearish than what we're doing now, personally. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I think we're fine, guys. We're sitting at 34,000. I mean, back here, like I said, like everyone's bearish. Everyone's bearish right now, right here. But back right here at the same point, everyone was super bullish, right? Why? What's the difference between the two? This one we're going from the upside. This one we're going from the downside. That's how much the sentiment can switch, even though you're generally at the same price levels, really in general. So, I mean, it's all about what the perception of what you're looking at. We looked at it the other day, like the weekly. We'll look at the weekly in a second, but that's really that, man. Let's go over Cardano. Cardano. Turn it up just a little. Maybe I can do that. Anyways, let's switch to Cardano. Cardano, still in that rising wedge for Cardano. It's almost the exact same thing as Ethereum, just like we said yesterday. Man, it's that 204-hour EMA that's been a pain in the butt. We looked at it this morning, but rejected. We just can't get it back above that 200 EMA, or sorry, that 200 simple moving average. It's just ridiculous. And what's going to kind of happen here is what you can kind of notice is this is kind of forming a resistance line. It's going to come down like this, and we're going to have to decide, do we want to break that to the upside or to the downside? So we're going to kind of go like this, and we're going to decide, do we want to continue this wedge or do we want to break down to the downside? I think it's going to pretty much correlate with what Bitcoin does, right? If Bitcoin can hold this green box, I think Cardano will pump. But if not, I think we'll dump from that. We'll dump from the wedge. Obviously, our measure move of the wedge is 114, a common area where Cardano has tend to test multiple times in the past. So even if we do drop there, I mean, Cardano's been, like I've always said, Cardano's been a freaking rock. Trav, does it get old doing this every day? No, it does not. Even during this boring price action, it does not get old. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it doesn't. But definitely interesting. Anyways, that's really all we're looking at for Cardano, man. That's really it. Do we have any bullish? No bearish divergence, nothing like that, really. On the daily time frame, nothing really there either. I mean, you're kind of just you're just really waiting for the breakout of this rising wedge. That's all you're doing. That's really all you're doing. Let's take our top to our bottom here, And Trav, why would I go back to a job that I didn't enjoy when I could do something that I do enjoy? Why would I do that? Why would I want to force myself into a 9-to-5 job when I don't have to? That makes no sense. Anyways, yeah, I mean, not really anywhere as far as the Fibonacci levels either, right? So that's really that, man. I mean, not much really else besides that. So I'm not going to spend too much time on Cardano because at the end of the day, I mean, you're just waiting for a breakout here, and you're waiting to see what you do here. Probably by tomorrow, you're going to see some type of breakout for Cardano, whether it's a super bullish one or a super bearish one. You know, we'll see. Yeah, but I still have my part-time job at McDubs. You guys know I still have my part-time job at McDubs. I've had to cut my hours a little bit because my boss has been getting on my nerves, man. On my nerves. Every time I'm sitting there flipping burgers, right? Very casually flipping burgers. I'm just minding my own business. He comes over and says, Jordan, you're not cooking the burgers enough. And I say, boss, they're freaking microwaved. How am I not cooking the burger? How am I not cooking the burgers enough? And he's like, you got to microwave them for an extra 2 seconds. And I look at him with a disgusted face. I told him I have to work 5 hours less a week. I cannot deal with it. So now we're at like 15 hours a week at McDubs. Before we were at 20. But the ice cream machine is fixed, by the way. So if you guys want to head down, check me out tomorrow. You can do that. So keep that in mind. All right. So Cardano. All right. Let's look at some of our macro stuffy here. Macro stuff. Switch to the macro. There we go. All right. So total still looks good. Total still looks good. I'm telling you guys, this is the total 2 market cap with altcoins. Everyone's saying this is bearish. I'm telling you guys, if we can get back above this red box, all of a sudden everyone's going to be bullish again. All right. Talking about so many people talk about how this altcoin chart looks super bearish, and it does when you look at it when you zoomed in like this, right? Yeah, obviously it's going to look bearish. If you zoom out, I mean, yes, you did have a pretty sizable drop, but if you look at it, you can compare it to a lot of these dumps that we had in different bear markets, right? To me, it looks very similar to this one where you just came back down and retested the 200-day moving average right there. So everyone is freaking bearish down here, I bet. Right? Big drop for altcoins. We come over, just retest the 200-day moving average, and we continue up. It's same thing with like kind of right here, right? We didn't retest the 200-day, but same type of thing. That's what it kind of looks like to me. And we've talked about this, how, you know, in general, right? We bounce off the 200-day moving average. Until we break that 200-day moving average, I'm not flipping super bearish here. I'm just not. We still have the possibility of that W pattern. If we can break this red box, if we can get back to this previous high at about 1 trillion for altcoins, I'm not getting super bearish over this. It's too early to get bearish over that. Really is. Give your boss laser eyes, he'll understand. And the boss is happy with Jordan's vegan fries. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Crypto is my retirement plan, future Walmart greeter. Exactly, Trevor, man. That's the way to go, my dude. That is the way to go. You look at it as far as a retirement plan. You don't look at it as a get-rich-quick scheme. Fortunately, a lot of people got into the market in April, May, even June, right, and thought this was going to be a get-rich-quick scheme where you're going to literally make a ton of money in a month. You're going to retire in a month. Not how crypto works. It's not how crypto works. You can get lucky and get in the bear market, but most of the time, you're not going to be interested in crypto in the bear market. You're only going to get interested in crypto in the bull market. So, and that's kind of how it works, right? And you get the general people that don't know nothing about crypto are going to get into it in the bull market. You're going to have the bear market. They're going to forget. You're going to have a major dump. They're going to forget. The price is going to start going up again eventually. Then they're going to FOMO in again. Price is going to go down again. They're going to forget. Eventually, over time, you learn to kind of do the opposite of what your head's telling you. But not everyone does. So it's just a revolving door of new retail investors. Anyways, That's the W pattern off the 200-day moving average. We'll watch that, the total 2 market cap. Total market cap still hovering right above kind of this rising channel / rising wedge. You can look at this bearishly. It's almost like what BTC's in, right? Because let's be honest, BTC is the majority, not the majority, I should say. It's actually less than altcoins right now, but it does take up a huge chunk of the total market cap. So the price action is going to follow it pretty much. So you're having a hard time getting it back above the, if you look at it from the daily perspective, you're having a hard time getting it back above the 200-day moving average on the total market cap, which is bearish, right? Which is bearish, but the only reason I bring up the total too is because everyone wants to use that from a bearish perspective when it's still above its 200-day moving average. Now the total market cap is below, so this one, you have to look at it from a bearish lens because you flipped your previous resistance as new support, or your previous support, and flipped it into new resistance. And on top of that, also on the daily, you're also forming some sort of bear flag, right? That should break to the downside based off of what they usually do, right? Now, like I said, crypto can totally surprise us and we can pump up to the upside here like nothing else has to happen, but we don't chose the parabolic move anymore. Claire said, I ate 7 pieces of pizza last night. Tonight, someone tell me how many jumping jacks I need to do. Claire, you need to do approximately about 20 jumping jacks. That should burn you approximately about 10 calories. And then you just need to go sit on the couch and think about the fact that you ate an entire pizza. I do it all the time. And know what the best remedy is to having a food coma? And you might think it's, oh, go exercise. No, it's actually sitting on the bed, relaxing, and then the next day waking up, have the thought in your head that you ate an entire pizza, and that motivates you even harder the next day. I'm telling you, it's way better doing it that way. But yeah, the total market cap looks bearish. If we break this green box, well, that's not going to look too good for the total market cap. But that is besides the point. Fear and Greed Index. Always bringing up my true classic teas every single time. Fear and Greed Index sitting at a 20. It sounds about right. I think people are pretty bearish today. People in general are pretty damn bearish today overall. So that makes a lot of sense. Bitcoin dominance dropping pretty hard today as we're seeing altcoins. And it's really the DeFi projects really killing it right now. We're seeing Aave, Yearn Finance, Synthetics. We'll look at those in a second, but there's a lot of DeFi projects that are going absolutely nuts today. So what are we going to see? We're going to see some crazy altcoin run. Definitely possible. Definitely possible. What's up, Suzanne? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Can you please look at Harmony One? Thank you so much. Yes, I will. We'll do the super chats next, actually, because I actually have no news to look at today because there really wasn't any major news today. There wasn't any yesterday. Wasn't any on the 4th. Wasn't any on the 3rd, for the most part. So really the only news was like the Elon tweets, but that really had no effect on the market, essentially. So banana peppers are on bomb on the pizza. Jimmy, I love banana peppers, man. Banana peppers are absolute fire. Absolute fire. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the Bitcoin dominance does look like it's going to fall again. We looked at this in the past, how I kind of compared the Bitcoin dominance to this area here that was kind of forming some type of ascending triangle. Now, I have this yellow line here because the price action just doesn't exist there for some reason on the chart. So I have this drawn here. That's essentially what kind of happened there. And we have a kind of an ascending triangle that broke down to the downside, essentially. And I'm kind of comparing that level there, right, where we had a big run for altcoins, ascending triangle, and then kind of went on a big second big altcoin rally. That's kind of what I'm looking at over here. Big altcoin run, kind of forming some ascending triangle that maybe breaks down to the downside. And then we start that big second run here for altcoins. And really that would mean Bitcoin's going up too, because when the Bitcoin dominance is going down, that usually means the whole crypto market is doing well. Counterintuitive, I know, but that's usually the case. So maybe we get some type of big altcoin rally again. We'll see. We got to wait to see if we break this trend line, obviously. But we'll wait and see. What will happen tomorrow? Candle will close within 4 minutes. Daily candle. Yeah, 3 minutes on the daily close. 3 minutes on the daily close. If you guys didn't know, it says it right on the top right over there. 31,193. So we're getting a pump, a little bit of a pump, right before the daily close. Looks like we're trying to really invalidate that head and shoulders pattern that could still kind of be there on the 1 hour chart. But that's nice. It's good to see. I really want to put the helmet on, guys. Like the helmet, I had to unplug it today because it was getting so hot. It's so charged right now that when I put on that helmet, it's going to supercharge Bitcoin to pump to literally all-time highs and make me not get that Dogecoin tattoo. I swear. Once I put on that helmet, it's going to boost us like you've never seen before. It's going to be insane. I'm telling you. Just wait until we get that next pump. I'm literally telling you. Guys, we can spam those likes. Let's spam those likes. And if you don't want to spam the likes, go ahead and spam the dislikes. I mean, at the end of the day, that works too. They both work the exact same. So it's all about engagement. So if you guys want to hit that dislike, hit that like button, whatever you prefer. If you don't like the stream, I don't know why you're watching, but it definitely helps a little bit. Well, we got 2 minutes until the daily close. 2 minutes until the daily close. Let's see what happens. All right, looks like we broke that first trend line. So let's see what happens here. X said that's not head and shoulders. Thank you for the kind comments. I know it wasn't head and shoulders. We talked about it earlier in the stream. Other people thought it was a head and shoulders, so that's why I mentioned it. But yeah, we're getting a nice pump to the upside. At least right now. Not helmet time. It's not helmet time yet. We're getting a little too ahead of ourselves. It's not helmet time. I really want to put on the helmet, but unfortunately, we're not getting there. I think we went through everything. Oh no, a couple other things on the macro, and then we'll go back to Bitcoin. KuCoin is going nuts. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the biggest gainers and losers. I'm excited for those. We'll go through some of the super chats. We'll go through some of the biggest gainers and losers. We'll check out KuCoin. Really all the coins are going nuts. Synthetics, KuCoin, there's a bunch. US dollar index still looks really good, right? Looks like we're bouncing perfectly off that trend line. Once again, looks like we wicked up nicely to it actually yesterday. And now we're going up to test it again. I don't want to break this. If we break this, it could spell some trouble, right? The keyword is could for crypto. But if you look at it from this sense, I mean, it's been going up the last week or last 2 weeks, and Bitcoin really hasn't dumped. So now if we break this trend line, that could change, right? We know overall this is a huge indicator whether crypto does well or not. But Jave said, came for helmets and hot dogs. We're out of hot dogs. We are. The helmets. We're out of helmets at the moment too. Unfortunately, man. It's the daily close. All right, it's the daily close. We'll check out in a second. Stock market is dumping. That's probably why you're seeing Bitcoin struggle a little bit, because it is correlated to the S&P, at least somewhat. It's the one I like to look at. So obviously we know this has been super parabolic the last couple of days, but it's pulling back the last 2 days. So we'll see. We'll see if there's any effect on crypto, which I think it is having some effect, and we'll see if we get that inevitable stock market dip. I don't know if it's going to happen. Right? Everyone's been kind of waiting for it for a while. I don't know if it's going to happen, but anyways, let's go to Bitcoin here and check out our daily. Where's our daily here? Our daily chats. All right. So I guess not the worst daily candle in the world. Overall, I don't think we had a big effect on the market on this daily. We obviously held above our important green box. So that's what's really important there. As long as we stay above there, I think we're good. We just got to get a close above that level, but still look really good there. Other than that, I think we're good, right? Just got to stay above that green box. Go to the 4 hour time frame. Still look good. Still obviously in our symmetrical triangle, hourly. Nice. We got to close. I got an hourly close above that resistance we were waiting for. So that was pretty good. I like that. Now we'll see what happens here on the hourly time frame. Do we get some type of pump here, or are we just gonna? Is Bitcoin just gonna and just continue down? What do you guys think? I'll wait while you guys think. All right? I'll wait occasionally. All right, no one answered. All right, so we don't have any bearish divergence, and actually, no, we don't have any bearish divergence. We'll see if it holds now. We'll see if it holds as support on the 1 hour. Obviously, we're looking at it. We're super zoomed in right now. We're super zoomed in at the end of the day. Pump it. Dump it. All right, not much is changing with BTC. Let's go over some of the super chats, and then we'll obviously come back to BTC. We'll check out some of their altcoins. All that fun mama jama, shall we? Dump it. Dump it. It's like one of my favorite things to say, honestly. Really is. We go down a little bit here. Let's see. Robbie G said, oh no, I already did that one. Thank you again for the $5 super chat, Robbie G. Cal J with the €5 super chat said this 60-minute candle will be huge. And it might be, right? Like I said, we broke above that green resistance, or this blue resistance line at 34,130. So it was a pretty good close. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to have a huge effect, but still pretty good nonetheless. Rich said, I have another horse. Your thoughts on key levels on Kusama. Thanks for the TA, my favorite evening program. Thanks for the super chat, Rich. We will look at Kusama for you, my friend, and see what's going on. Is Kusama pumping? I bet it is. Holy moly. Look at that nice little 4-hour chart there. Look at that 4-hour green D, right? I can't say the freaking word anymore. So look at that 4-hour green D. This is the wrong chart. But anyways, look at these 4-hour green Ds. Pretty much the same thing. Really nice. Really nice. Now we're coming up on some resistance here. We're coming up on some resistance. You're going to have some resistance at like 235. You haven't quite hit it yet, so I think you're going to eventually come up and hit that level. I think that's pretty clear here. I mean, you don't have much resistance between this level and there. So you're getting a little overbought in the 4 hours, so you might need to cool down a little bit. Keep that in mind. On the 1 hour time frame, nice 1 hour candle there. Nice, dude. Nice 1 hour candle. You can replace it with, I don't think I can say that word either, Jake. The words that I can say on here now are quite limited. But yeah, this is going to pump to 230. This is going to pump to 230. And that's just your next resistance. That's pretty good. That is really nice. Now, obviously, this had a major dump from its highs. So if maybe we want to take some of our fib levels here and kind of check where we're at as far as those. From top to bottom, there's really not much, right? I mean, if you break that high, you might have some resistance here, and maybe your 236 fib at 245. That might be kind of your next resistance. Looking up, look for a 245 approximately. If you break that, I mean, just looking up, I think some of these fib levels make a lot of sense. 382 makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense there. So look for, I'll put it at a level here as resistance, 301.85. Those are probably your next three resistances to look out for, I think, overall for Kusama. Really nice, though. Hourly's getting a little overbought, so keep that in mind. 4 hour, you have a little more room to run, and the daily, you got plenty of room to run. So, Kusama looking good, dude. You got to break that resistance, though. That's the one thing. That is the one freaking thing on Kusama. Kusama. MT said, thanks, man. Always learn a lot from you. Appreciate it. Thank you, MT. As always, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, and I am glad and hope that BTC can start getting a pump here, 35,267. We're starting to move up here very slowly, very slowly. We can't quite call it a pump yet. 3-day downtrend falling channel broken. I don't know if it's broken yet. We'll check it out in a second, though. Everyone donate for his future tattoo removal appointment. Exactly, F Crypto. I said I have to get a Dogecoin tattoo. I didn't say that I can't remove it, right? I didn't say I can't remove it. So keep that in mind. Just kidding. I won't remove it. I'm going to make it look so good if I do it. And I'm not going to do it because Bitcoin's going to hit over 65K by the end of this year, everyone. Once again, 65K by the end of this year. I'm not going to get that Dogecoin tattoo. Not going to happen. Jonathan said, hey, brother, love the content. Thank you, John. I know it's not a financial advice, but if you had Bitcoin but was not exposed to ETH, would you go in now? Abso-freaking-lutely, I would go in now. Abso-freaking-lutely. For multiple different reasons. I mean, there's a bunch of bullish things fundamentally for Ethereum. The charts look good. Looks like a bullish back test of previous highs. Looks like a W pattern forming here on the weekly. That's what I care about long term, right? So I would look at a lot of people are going to be zoomed in like this and say, oh, Ethereum looks bearish. Ethereum looks bearish. Which I get if you're zoomed in on the 4-hour chart, you know, Ethereum looks bearish. I get it, right? But at the end of the day, you look at this from a weekly time frame. This looks like a bullish backtest, previous resistance, W formation. Stock RSI bottomed out. Weekly RSI cooled off nicely. Ethereum Bitcoin ratio looks like in a bull flag with no resistance up until we hit this top at least. So even in the short term, it's probably going to outperform Bitcoin. Ethereum looks good on the longer term time frames for sure. So yeah, that's my long answer of saying yes. Ethereum looks bearish. Oh no. I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame. It's pumping now. It probably is. Where was I? Jordan's 2020 voice. Yeah, that was me from 2020. That was me from 2020. Hey Jordan, KSM is starting to cook. We're starting to cook. We're gonna cook on KSM. Thoughts on the charts. Running KSM. BTC pair. The KSM BTC pair. Well, we just looked at the KSM USD pair and it looked pretty good. KSM BTC looks pretty good too. You can't even argue this looks pretty damn good. This looks like it's ready for a breakout as well. You're going to see this from a lot of altcoins though, because obviously we saw the Bitcoin dominance at a pretty at a pretty cool level. Shafe said, don't make fun of the 5-minute time frame. My bad, Shafe. I don't mean to offend it. I don't mean to offend you, my bro. But everyone else, 5-minute time frame. More baby Jordan, please. KSM about to cook. About to cook. That's how I cook. Like this. We're about to cook. But all right. But yeah, I mean, we're right at resistance in all seriousness. Previous high. Looks like we got some resistance there, but I don't think you're gonna last there for too long, especially if Bitcoin remains in a semi either sideways or upwards trend, which it looks like it is right now, 34,400 for Bitcoin right now. We are getting a nice little pumpage for BTC. Guys, if BTC breaks, I'll make you guys a deal because I know you guys want the helmet. If BTC breaks 30, I got to make it like legit. If BTC breaks 34,550, I'll throw on the helmet, okay? Because then you might have some more pumpage after that. But if Bitcoin continues on either sideways or an upwards trend, you're going to see KSM inherently start pumping too. And it's probably going to pump harder than BTC, as we know. So you might have some resistance at that's 236, but yeah, I mean, you look here, you went straight down, right? So you might just go straight up, even though you have a lot of resistance back here. It's obviously the KSM Bitcoin pair. So I mean, take resistance with a grain of salt. If KSM pumped, it's going to pump. So that's really that. Why not 34,569? You know what, Jacob? Fine. 34,569. There you go. Best Duncan at Best Duncan. All right, Ben, I'll do it for you, man. Best donut at Duncan. I'm going to do this for Ben. Glazed. Frosted. I don't know what you guys have. Boston cream where you are? Is that like a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. We'll say jelly, and we'll say I don't know if you guys have Boston cream. Screw it. I'm gonna put it in there. There you go. Best donut at Dunkin'. Just for you, Ben. No for no one else though. What are we looking at? Thoughts on Covalent CQT big backers? Covalent CQT. Interesting. We shall look at it. CQT. There we go. Maple. Alpha. I can only add 4 donuts. I can only have 4 donuts. Yeah, we have Boston cream. You guys do? I didn't know if that was like a, you know, just kind of a Boston thing. CQT. I just have no data on this thing. There we go. A little bit better. Not great, but yeah, I think this thing looks like it's trying for some type of cup and handle. Now, obviously, you got a lot of work to do. And you got to kind of at least reach there. But, I mean, you're trying for that cup and handle pattern. But you gotta just continue up here. Now, if you can reach 52 cents and break it, I mean, you should see a pretty significant move from this. You're having a classic bottom pattern. One of the best you can possibly have, in my opinion. Which a breakout for this would be, why can I grab my line? There we go. Would be approximately about 73.3 cents. So, yeah, wouldn't be too bad. Pump ETH. Sure, I'll pump ETH. Why not? I will pump the crap out of ETH, okay? But that's after. That's later. That's later. Sue Ann Smith said, can you look at Harmony 1? Thanks so much. Yes. Harmony 1. Let's see what's going on with Harmony. Thanks for the $5 super chat, by the way, Sue. Appreciate it. Harmony. What's going on here? What is going on here? This looks like a breakout of a ascending triangle of some sort. I think it's actually from this low. There we go. Yeah, nice little breakout. You're getting higher lows. Rejection at the same point in the top side. Classic ascending triangle breakout. What did you do? You pumped out of it. You came back down, actually wicked and retested your support or previous resistance as new support. And now you're starting to run back up to the upside. Freaking perfect setup, if you ask me. Next really resistance point I'm seeing, I mean, you obviously got to break those highs you're currently at, but next one is up here like 7.8 cents for Harmony. If you could break a previous high, but altcoins starting to look pretty good, at least temporarily, right? Harmony 1 obviously has been really struggling since really the middle of March, really been struggling. So it's good to see it starting to look like it's at least bottomed out temporarily, which is really nice. You just really got to start breaking some of these resistances now. You just have so much resistance looking up for these altcoins. It's crazy. Like, we have so much price action up here. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's the journey that makes it fun, right? But yeah, Harmony looks good for sure. Timmy's has Boston cream up here in Canada. All right, so let's see. We out of these 4 donuts, I just did kind of the most generic 4 donuts because I know there's other ones that are good, but these are kind of the generic ones. We have glazed at 30%, chocolate frosted at 23%, jelly at 9%, and Boston cream at 38%. So Boston cream takes the cake, with glazed coming in second. I'm very surprised, but shout out to my Bostoners out there. We're coming in. We make some good donuts apparently, even though it's pretty generic donut. It's a friggin' plain donut with cream inside. But yeah, good to see. Boston cream takes the poll. We'll do another poll shortly. See what Bitcoin's doing. 34,300. Chilling as of now. Came for helmets and hot dogs. We're out of hot dogs. Shafe, I got plenty of burgers for you, though. Plenty of burgers for you, bro. Let me know. I got plenty of burgers for you. Shafe, 4-hour 200 EMA has been an issue. Watch for rejection. Yeah, it's something we've been talking about for Ethereum. And it's probably the same thing for Bitcoin. That's a good point. Obviously, the 20 is being kind of an issue right now, but we actually switch this to 200. Yeah, it's been a little bit of an issue for BTC. We'll see. It's up at 35,900. So we got a little ways to get up there, but I can definitely see the sentiment for your proposal, Shafe. Sorry for making fun of the 5-minute chart, but you know what? I'm going to keep making fun of it. EBK Hunter said, can you look at XDC, please, kind sir? Yes, I can. Hunter, EBK Hunter. XDC, let's see. XDC. So this looks like, you actually don't have bearish divergence because you're making lower highs, which I guess is a somewhat good thing. I think we looked at, we kind of looked at what our next support or next resistances would be. I think we hit 12.4 cents perfectly. And then we have 13.7 cents, which is your local highs. If you continue up, now this is looking like maybe some sort of descending triangle. A little bit too early to tell, but yeah, I mean, you have 3 touches on the top side, 3 touches on the bottom side. So I guess it's not too early to tell, but could be some sort of descending triangle. Though you have cooled off the 4-hour RSI very nicely. So you do have room to run up again to 13.7 cents. XDC has been killing it. It's about to test its highs. It's absolutely insane. So really nice, really nice. The daily probably looks pretty much the same. Daily still looks really good. You just got to break that resistance, and the hourly looks good as well. You just got to break this resistance, man. And then you got 12.4 and 13.7 coming up shortly. $34,271 for BTC. Can BTC please wake up and do something? I don't want to have to poke BTC with a stick. I really don't. Does anyone want to poke BTC with a stick for me? Because I'm personally tired of... You guys saw my song. Yeah. Digibite, you saw my song on Twitter the other day. I said, wake me up when July ends. At this point, it's got to be wake me up when September ends at this point, dude. Like, it's insane. What is it, 8:20? We got game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight at 9:30 sharp. 9:30 sharp. Jing said, can we look at comp? Looks like bearish divergence on the hourly, but it just keeps pumping. How is bearish divergence invalidate? Jing, I can definitely look at that for you. Say comp, you have bearish divergence on the hourly. That's a good question. How do you invalidate a bearish divergence? Let's see. So on the 1 hour for comp, okay, so you're talking about if you really zoom in here on this, I'm assuming this is what you're talking about, Jing. Talking about from this high to this high, and you're talking about this high on the RSI to this high. So a very, very slight bearish divergence, but I guess it's still there nonetheless. In order to invalidate this, all you got to do is make a higher high, right? Because then you have higher highs in the RSI and you have higher highs in price action. So all you got to do is break that previous high. Now, if you got rejected here, then the bearish divergence is kind of stand as far as your your hourly closes go. So if you close above this previous high here, all is freaking good. If you don't, you don't. Then you have the bearish divergence. But really, good question. Good question. I like the generic questions. They're pretty good. Generic questions. Dimitri said, prediction for game 1 tonight. Man, so I think was Milwaukee's home? Or is Phoenix? Phoenix is home. I'm probably going to go Phoenix is going to win game 1. I think just going into it, I think Milwaukee just came off a 6-game series. Sorry, a 7-game series. And, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So the Phoenix has a lot more rest. They're a younger team in general. I just think they're going to come out in game 1 and kill it, man. And they're at home, too. JD said crystal ball. There you go, JD. Let's look into the crystal ball and see what's going to happen next for Bitcoin. So in my crystal ball, I see us pumping to 66,000 before December 31st of 2021. And if we don't, Jordan will have a giant tattoo of Doge on his thigh. But the crystal ball is telling me that we will not be below 65K by the end of this year. Because I'm seeing Jordan on January 1st, on New Year's next year, right? He might be dead on the couch in the morning, but I see him, and he doesn't have a Dogecoin tattoo on his thigh. So I think we're good. All right. But, man. Giannis is questionable? Yeah. Why are we still buying Bitcoin? Isn't Bitcoin has lost its 3 weeks demand line? 3-week demand line. You said, why are we still buying Bitcoin? I don't know. Why are you buying Bitcoin? That's your question. I'm not buying Bitcoin right now. I'll buy if it goes lower. I'm happy with my accumulation that I have. I still have buy orders for BTC. I still have buy order 28,000. I think I put one at the 0.618 Fibonacci at 25,000, and I have one at 20,000. But right now I'm cool with my BTC stack. Now we did break that trend line, right? From June 22nd, we did break that daily trend line. But for me, I'm not really worried so much about this trend line. I'm more worried about this green box of support. That's been pretty big support for you. You break that green box of support, that's when I start getting, all right, it's probably likely we come back down here. But until then, I'm not too worried just yet. Not just yet. Chris Paul deserves a chip. He does. No Chillax said end of day 66K. Honest? No, not ended today. Not ended today, man. Let me hold on one second. I want Matic to moon so I can dump it. Claire, don't be saying that about your good friend Matic. I'm just kidding. George, you really want Theta. Bucks without Giannis proved to be harder as a whole. All players stepped up versus Hawks. Yeah. I mean, the Bucks are still a good team even without Giannis. So I think the Bucks can still beat the Suns even without Giannis. Not going to be easy. But the Bucks still have a really good roster overall. I mean, you still have Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez. I mean, you still have a good roster. So they can still do it even if Giannis doesn't come back. If Giannis comes back, obviously there's probably a better team. Let's not get too carried away there, but I do agree with you somewhat. All right, so you want a Theta. George wanted Theta. George, not Cryptos R Us, George. Not that friend George, but my friend George Spee. What does your crystal ball say about Ave? We'll check Ave in a sec, Britt. But Theta, what's going on with Theta? We still have an upwards trend. We're trying to. in general, you kind of have an upward trend. You did kind of have like one little fake out to the downside, but overall, looks like you're making lower highs while making higher lows. So you're going to get squeezed. In general, you're going to get squeezed in here between this upward support and this downwards resistance. So kind of a symmetrical triangle, I guess, if you want to call it that. You did have one little fake out to the downside, but in general, you guys can get the point here. Breakout target from top to bottom. What if you did break to the upside, would give you about a 645 for data. Now, if you broke to the downside, as far as support and resistance goes, I'd probably say you probably have some pretty good support down here at like 587. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with data. I mean, you guys know I love data. I think it has a good future, but a lot of these altcoins are waiting on BTC to wake up. You really like this. Do you ever remember a time like this when volume was this low for so long and nothing happened? What was the result? That's a good question. Well, we can actually go back and look at that. It's something cool to look at. Let's go back on the daily and find a time where the volume was this low for this long. And if you really look at it, like the volume actually hasn't been that low. Like it has, but if you look at it from daily, at least on Coinbase, I mean, it really hasn't been that low, right? If you look at it for that long. There's been plenty of times that it's been pretty damn low. And it's usually between before a big move. Usually when you see the volume get super low, it's usually right before a big move. Just a quick example. Obviously, this is one example, so don't act like we have to go down to the downside. We'll find a bullish scenario too. But right here, volume super low, like super low. And it was right before we had a huge crash down to the downside. Now, that's just one example. So don't get too up in arms, per se. Let's look over here. I think there's another time where sometime back here we had a pretty big pump and the volume was super freaking low. Where was it? Right here. Yeah, right here. The volume super low down here. Super freaking low. I mean, it was really low for a while back here, obviously, because that was like 2015 Bitcoin times. But like, and then all of a sudden, boom, up to the upside. I mean, that's going back a long time. That's going back a long time. There's really not another great examples as far as that goes. Maybe something along these lines, like before 2017, kind of dropped off in volume here in this general range, and then we ended up having a nice pump to the upside. So I mean, it can go either way. You can go either way in general. Let's see. Right here's another good example. Really low volume. Boom, up to the upside. And then obviously in kind of the March crash, we dumped really low and had a big dump. So it usually does come before a pretty big move. There's not a lot of examples, but that's just kind of what we're looking at. And that's another reason why I think a big move is coming pretty damn soon for BTC. Is that if there's a whales that want to push it to the upside or downside when the volume's low, that's the easiest time for them to do it. That makes the most sense for them to either pump it either way. But Algo, you drinking coffee right now, man? At 8:30? I can't even talk crap because I usually drink a coffee every day. I'm cutting out the afternoon coffees. That's my goal right now. I'm cutting out the afternoon coffees, and I'm going to slowly start to cut out the morning coffees. I think that's the more good ways to do it, right? What's up, Sarita? Hope you're enjoying the stream, as always. I was talking crap. I was like, Algo, you're drinking coffee right now, man? I always drink coffee at night. Part of my issues. After a deep, long sleep, energy burst. As long as it's pumping my crypto. Yeah, I mean, we're waiting for a move here, guys. You know, Bitcoin doesn't move on my stream. I've been looking for an anti-volatility Bitcoin index, something like that, because we would be millionaires by this time if there was some anti-Bitcoin volatilities or something like that we could invest in. We would be billionaires. we would just invest in that during my stream, sell it at the end. Bitcoin would pump or dump, right? Buy it back right before the stream, sell it. It would be textbook. But I swear, no price action ever happens between the hours of 7 and really like 9. Sometimes right at the end we get some price action, but between 7 and 9, there's never price action. Never. Or at least any important price action. You guys have been here forever. I mean, you guys know. Wait, what, Paul? You said Boston is trash. It's all about India? That's so random. Can I know your views on Safe Moon? Going Prosh.
Nope.
I had to do a Going Prosh. No offense, man, but no meme coins on this channel. We're an anti-meme coin channel. It's nothing against anyone that owns meme coins, so don't go, oh, he doesn't like meme coins. He's a bad person. Right? It's just because we don't talk about meme coins, okay? It's not because, you know, it's not because I'm a bad person. It's not because I think you're a weirdo for owning meme coins. We just don't do it. Trevor said, when did you first see crypto versus when did you get in? I made a joke to myself in 2010 when seeing a Bitcoin ETM. It'd be funny to toss a 50 in this nerd money. 6,150 BTC would be pretty nice right now. Zill? Oh yeah, you'd be balling right now. You'd be absolutely balling. But Shiba Inu's going to $10 by the end of this year. but man, it's too funny. The first time I heard about crypto was in I heard about crypto in 2017 and I got in crypto in 2017. Now when I got it in 2017, I was a complete noob. I bought 2 tops, sold 2 bottoms until I eventually held through the bear market in 2017, bought the 2018 bear market, and here we are. Right? That's kind of really my story. I don't have any crazy story, right? I heard about it, learned the hard way twice by buying the tops, selling the bottoms, literally twice. I can probably show you the exact moves that I did, and which is why I tell you guys, like, don't think with your head, because that's what I did, and I lost a lot of money. I think I bought pretty close. I think I first got in around here, bought this top, sold the bottom, FOMO'd back in here somewhere around this range, sold the bottom. And then obviously I think that's when I started then I sold, then I start getting into up here. I had some gains, so I was starting to get kind of confident. That's when I started to really get into it, started to look into it a little bit more, started to learn more about it, and starting to learn about charts and things like that nature. And that's when I get kind of serious about it. And then I kind of just held, and I call it dollar cost averaging. And that's kind of how I got into crypto, man. But in those first days, I bought some crap. I can't even remember some of the coins I bought. Half of them aren't around anymore. But man, it was brutal. It was brutal. No meme coins, but you talk about Shiba. Yeah, no meme coins. Yeah, Hans, I repaired my volume. I think I repaired my volume. Everyone was said the volume sounds better today. So that's good. That's good. Your clickbait thumbnail should be big move sideways again. Bro, what do you want to make my title? Bitcoin sideways for the 30th day straight. I can't make my title that. Always love it. Life is up and down. Never take her serious. I agree. Love it. Life is up and down. Never take her serious. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't know. It is serious when you have a substantial when you back then I was investing more than I could afford to lose. I made some stupid mistakes back then, but yeah, we won't go back there. We won't go back in those times. What's my small cap gems? My smaller cap coins that I did the best with in this bull market was Trust Swap and Chain Games. I got in on both of those pretty early, and it was pretty successful with those two. Now, as far as altcoin gems right now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, right now, you could hype up any altcoin right now. Any altcoin. And if the market starts picking up again, you're going to gain money on any altcoin that goes up. Because if Bitcoin starts, 40K, 50K, 60K, every coin is going to pump, right? So every coin in that sense would be a hidden gem. So keep that in mind. When you hear these altcoin gems, is a lot of times like in times like this, certain people will start saying this is a gem. The market starts going up. He looks like a genius, but in reality, every coin's going up, right? So keep that in mind. That's why I don't do a lot of altcoin gem videos. I don't look at a lot of altcoin gems, because in reality, it's all speculation, and especially at these times, every coin's a freaking gem if the market starts going back up, right? Trust Swap is going to be awesome. Yeah. I like me some Trust Swap. If Shiba hits $1, if Shiba hits $1, I will call. Wait, what? Digital, what are you talking about? ICP almost feels like a meme coin. Everyone literally memes ICP. Everyone memes ICP. So Brit says we all make money when it's a bull market. Exactly. When it's a bull market, every coin will make you money. Now, the point of reason why it's important, I think, to look at some charts when you're in a bull market is because certain coins will outperform other coins, right? So I think it's important to look at charts in that sense where, in one coin, you might make 10% in a month, right? But another coin that has a really good setup and is looking really good and ready to break out might make you 70, 80% in that month, right? So I think that's why it's important to look at charts in general still. But in reality, like when you're in a bull market, every coin's going to go up. It's just how much it's going to go up. So there is an opportunity cost when you're in a bull market still, right? There's a big factor. I mean, you could be up 10,000%. You could be up 500%. You'd still be happy with the 500%, but obviously you'd be more happy with the 10,000% gains when you're in maybe some crazy altcoin, right? So there's always an opportunity cost when it comes to which coins you're in. And there's an opportunity cost to the downside, right? Like we just saw, all right? Now, a lot of people up here were saying, oh, why should you invest in Bitcoin? Altcoins always outperform Bitcoin. Why should you invest in Bitcoin? Well, because the reason why you invest in Bitcoin is it protects you to the downside. So we saw most altcoins drop 60, 70, 80% here, and Bitcoin dropped about 50%, right? So that's why it's important, in my opinion. Bitcoin protects you somewhat to the downside a little bit more than the altcoins do. But when you're going up, you don't really know how far you're going up. So, but it's better to be in altcoins when you're going up. It's just you don't know when you're going up. So definitely it's a cool thing to look at. Swap, where you swap your swaps. Why is everyone talking about Shiba in the chat? What did we came to? Where did we came here? When Shiba hits $1, you have to throw a pie in your face. Let me check the market cap real quick. I'm willing to bet something here. Yo, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet Shiba doesn't hit $1? I will bet anything right now that Shiba doesn't hit $1. Yo, just think about the market cap Shiba has to get to hit $1. It's already at $3.5 billion market cap. which is already higher than it should be. And it's going to have to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to have to gain 6 digits to get to $1. It's not going to hit $1. I hope whoever said that in the chat was trolling. I really do. But yeah. They're trying to get you to look at Shiba. I will literally bet anything that Shiba doesn't hit $1. Anything. And if someone would take me on that bet, all right. So we went through all those. Let me what was I gonna look at? All right. Man, BTC, can you do something? Please. I'm begging you at this point. I'm begging you. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm not really, but probably not trolling is the sad part. No, most of people are probably trolling, right? Most of them know that's not really realistic. Some of them don't, though. Some of them don't. Like I said, I've been following a lot of I follow like a lot of Facebook posts and stuff like that, like the groups, just for fun, because some of those groups literally are so fun to be in, just because people really have no idea what they're talking about. I'm in the Shiba group just for fun. I'm in like the XLM group just for fun, right? I mean, some of these groups, I mean, they're talking about, like, I think I saw one the other day. XLM is at, what is it at right now? XLM is at, where is it? Am I blind? There it is. XLM's at 25 cents. I think I saw one the other day. It was like, someone drew like a pattern for XLM and it had like the breakout target to, like, I think it was like $3 or something like that. And I was like, dude, it's certainly possible, but you're talking about a 12x when Bitcoin's struggling. Now I get it if Bitcoin picked it up, but you're talking about a short-term pattern with a breakout to $3. It's like, dude, Luna's pumping. Chris said Luna is pumping. Chris, if I look at Luna, we share the same name, man, so you can't fake me out. If I look at Luna, it's not pumping. I'm never going to trust another Chris again. Yeah, but Luna looks good. Look at that. So you broke that resistance, man. There you go. I can finally play it.
Strap up. We're going to the moon.
Look at that, man. 1, 2, 3 resistance points. You broke it to the upside. Really, really nice. Now you're at a resistance right now, right? You're testing your previous high right here. And 684. If you break that, I mean, you're struggling. You wicked above it, but you're struggling a little bit right now. You break that, I mean, you just look left. It's really, you got 2 highs there. 788, 658, 788. You look left. You got nothing until like all the way up here at like 1191. So you can make some serious moves pretty quick if Luna continues up here. Now the 4 hour, keep in mind, you might have some bearish divergence forming here on the 4 hour. And on the hourly, you get a little bit overbought on the hourly. So you might need to cool down a little bit, maybe a cool down here, come back down, retest, and then continue up. Certainly a possibility. But Luna's looking good, dude. Luna's looking good. Almost better than my wife. Ethereum. Smells like BTC's dumping tonight. All right. While we're waiting here, let's go on to... Actually, didn't have any news today. We already did the super chats. Let's go to gainers and losers. All right? Gainers and losers. Let's see. Qcoin up 40% today. And I was thinking about buying it early today, and I didn't because I didn't want to FOMO. I didn't want to FOMO, and there it goes. But yeah, I think Qcoin's probably going to keep pumping, honestly. I just have a thing where I don't like the FOMO. Obviously, it was doing well yesterday. It was consolidating. I was like, should I buy? Super bullish news on Qcoin. I didn't do it, but it's okay. Is what it is. Qcoin going off today, though. Kusama up 12%. Thorchain 12. I mean, we talked about it this morning, guys. It's the DeFi projects that are going off. So we'll look at some of these hot coins in a second. Biggest losers, the Graph, getting a little bit of pullback. It was performing pretty well there. Getting a little pullback, that's okay. Elrond, Compound, Cosmos, OMG, ICP. ICP is always here. It's like they're 6 days a week, and then one day it's a top gainer. It's always bouncing around. But we'll look at KuCoin here, as KuCoin performing really well. KuCoin. Let's see what's going on with KuCoin. Yeah, man, you blasted right through that 1.618 fib like it was butter. Absolute butter. Now the 4 hour, you're probably going to cool this off a little bit. I mean, you got all the way up to a 92 on the RSI in the 4 hour. That's insane. Hourly, you probably even got higher. Actually, you didn't. You did have bearish divergence on the hourly. So, makes sense why you're cooling off. Bearish div. So, pretty heavy bearish div, too. I'll be surprised if you come back down and retest your previous highs for KuCoin before you continue up, but it doesn't necessarily happen that way. You do have room to run up now, both on the hourly and the 4 hour if you really want to. If you really want to, you could. And the daily, overbought as well. So, I mean, you're pretty overbought here on KuCoin, but when a coin's this bullish, it's tough. And it's tough. And this is the same thing I said yesterday when I didn't want to FOMO, and it went up another 15% or so. So, KuCoin looks really good. Shout out to all you guys who own KuCoin too.
Strap up, we're going to the moon.
I'll give you guys a shout out going to the moon. Why did it pump? I think they came something with like QSwap came out. So that came up with some type of swap. Something like that. Probably something else happened too. Either SNX and their synthetic stocks. I don't know much about the synthetic stocks, to be honest with you, man. I know synthetics was going off, though. Synthetics obviously was going absolutely nuts the last couple of days. Cooling down a little bit now. The thing on synthetics is you still got room to run here. Cooling down the 4 hour nicely. And the hourly cooled down really nicely, too. Now you have bullish div on the 1 hour. Nice bullish div on the 1 hour if you can bounce at this previous high here. So bullish div. I probably would expect maybe another bounce as long as Bitcoin stays somewhat bullish. Now if Bitcoin starts dipping, could have a negative effect on synthetics, but overall, I think this looks good. Probably looking at our next resistance points. Let's take our fib for this one. Top to bottom. Wow, this one wasn't respected at all. Take it from this top. This one really wasn't respected at all. It's crazy. But if we just take the fibs, I mean, yeah, it's not really useful for this one, right? You guys know I love the Fibonacci's, but if it doesn't line up, it doesn't line up. But I think just looking at this, you probably have some resistance at 1420. You got a local peak there from June 3rd. Other than that, we'll see if you bounce, man. See if you bounce. Pump, everyone FOMO. Everyone FOMO. Who likes the FOMO here? Is it just me? Who else likes the FOMO? Kidding, I don't really FOMO. Probably should. Every time I don't FOMO into projects that I like, they end up doing really well. It makes absolutely no sense. I guess it makes a little bit of sense, but literally every time I don't FOMO into a coin and I come back down to it later, you know what it is? Because I don't trust my gut. You know, I stick to the rule, don't FOMO, but you know what it really is? I see a coin look super bullish on the chart. I see that it's oversold and I see that it's already pumped and all this stuff, and I don't trust my gut. And I just say, I'm not going to FOMO. But, you know, King FOMO. Who had the worst FOMO Who here has the worst FOMO story in the chat? Get someone in the chat, tell me a quick synopsis of your worst FOMO story, okay? Your worst FOMO story, where it ended up biting you in the butt. Like where you FOMO'd into a coin that was pumping so hard and it just dumped on you right after you bought it. Who has the worst FOMO story in the chat? What was my worst FOMO story? I think my worst FOMO story was, what was my worst FOMO story, man? I'm trying to think. My worst FOMO, where I just lost a crap load of money. Hasn't been in a while. I think I really haven't really FOMO'd into much, and even if I did, I ended up holding it anyway. I guess XRP is probably my worst bet. XRP, or I kept stacking XRP last year, and then it dumped, and I sold it, and then it ended up going back up because the SEC case didn't have an effect. That was probably my worst thing I did. PMON, Algo, you didn't FOMO into PMON though. You FOMO to the downside. PMON was already going down, right? So it technically wasn't a FOMO, right? I tried to buy low on PMON. That didn't work out. It's a little bit different. I'm still holding that, by the way, because I still think it's going to pop off when the market goes back up. I still have faith in it. That really wasn't a FOMO. Who bought ICP at release? Let me read some of these in the chat here. Tell a couple days ago. Logan FOMO'd into Tell. Wait, Tell. Logan, you probably FOMO'd right here, man. You probably FOMO'd at 3.1 cents and then it dropped back down. I mean, that's pretty bad, but it's not like terrible though. Like there's some people that like FOMO'd in and they get down like 90%. Sure, you're probably only down like 30% at worst right now, which is bad, but it's not like too bad. Doge at SNL. That's pretty bad. Bought way too much BTC at 62. I bought ETH at 4,000. Yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of worked out. It went up to 4,500. Ended up dumping after that. People FOMO'd into BTC at 60K. That's not the worst though. I mean, there's some coins that are down like 80%. Caesar said ICP at 450. Jeez. I dropped 50K into BitConnect. ICP at 450? Damn. You guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think my worst one, at least recently, I had some pretty bad ones in like 2017, 2018. But like the one that was most recent that was probably the worst is, if you guys watched my channel like last year, I was hyping up XRP like crazy. I was hyping up XRP pretty much in this whole area right here. And then it started pumping. I don't know, man. I guess I kind of lost some of my values just because I think I was just so invested into XRP and it just started pumping. You know what I mean? It was at 25 cents, pumped all up to 75 cents. I think I FOMO'd a lot on this run up here. And then the SEC news happened, dumped all the way down to like 20 cents. I think I panic sold at the bottom here at like 20 cents. So overall, like I think I bought up here and everything. I think I went down like 65% or whatever I put into XRP, which is pretty bad. I mean, some people are down worse than that though. But I used to hype up XRP like crazy, which it was gonna work out. XRP, I'm telling you guys, if that SEC stuff never happened with XRP would have been one of the best gainers in this bull market. I'm telling you. I still think it can. I still think right now it's undervalued. Now I have kind of a vendetta against XRP now, but I think right now even it's undervalued for where it is just because of all that stuff. Like XRP is like one of the only big cap altcoins that didn't break its all-time highs. But I don't know. XRP not going to 300. Man. I mean, XRP, it depends. I mean, XRP is not going to 300. Not anymore. Crypto kid. I'm not stressing out about it, man. It's all fun and games now. But back then, I was freaking pissed. I was freaking pissed. Should have just held on to your XRP. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do now. That's what I normally would do. But I thought XRP was down. I thought XRP was going away. I was convinced. I was convinced. Kyle's like, you check out Crow. Yes, I can check out Crow. Still hold Crow. So I don't know why I hold Crow. But, you know, Crow is a roller coaster. It's literally a roller coaster. It's like, it's like a snake. It's like the dragon. Doesn't look like a dragon, but in all seriousness, I think what I used to look at for Crow was generally this upwards trend, which actually bounced perfectly on this dip, which is really cool. I like when stuff like this actually has a perfect confluence. You can see like 1, 2, 3, 4 perfect touch points. Right here, I'm just taking off the wicks, but you can see you closed up perfectly at that support line. So that's what I used to look at for Crow. And then on the top side, it was pretty much the same thing. If you connect from this wick over, you were pretty much just in like a rising channel almost to a certain point, right? So that's kind of what it is for Crow. I mean, you're just going up and down, up and down, up and down. And now, right now, you're popping back up, which is good to see. But at the end of the day, you're still at 11 cents. You still got a lot of work to do. Look at the 4 hour. Really not much here to look at. Kind of just in a rising channel at the moment on the 4 hour. But yeah, we gotta wait for that breakout, man. You got some bearish div, some heavy bearish divergence on the 4 hour time frame. See 3 higher highs, 3 lower highs on the RSI. So I think it's likely you probably break down from this just because you got bearish div. You're in a rising channel, typically bearish. So we'll see what happens on Crow. Okay. Going Prosh, Jordan, I'm going to need you to poke Bitcoin. It's really boring me out. You're telling me, man. You're telling me. I'm not sure how many of you guys are here every single day. But you can only imagine. Obviously, I'm streaming, so I'm here every single day. You can't imagine how boring Bitcoin has been for the last 2 months. Now, there's times it's exciting, but I think the thing is, I think people over here, but I think it's different now than it was, you know, we're talking like a couple weeks ago. I think right here, people were still getting excited from these little pumps and dumps. But I think over time, people just got the sense that Bitcoin's just really going sideways. So now people don't even get excited over these little pumps and dumps. So people are just bored right now. And you can just see it in the stream numbers from any streamer, right? I mean, from any streamer, you can see that the retail investors getting bored. And I'm telling you, the volume's getting low, retail's going low. We looked at the Google Trends for like how to buy Bitcoin. That's at the lows since we haven't seen since like April of last year. People are getting bored, and the big moves happen when people get bored. Okay, and it's actually a huge indicator. Big moves happen, whether it can go upside or downside. But man, I mean, you look at any stream. Like me and my stream, we're sitting at 1,000 viewers right now. A month ago, every stream we're sitting pretty close to 2,000, right? You look at like BitBoy. I mean, he used to get close to 20,000 viewers on average. You know, today he didn't do too bad. He had like 11, 12. But he's about in half. George, same thing, right? Usually used to get over 10K. Now he's getting 5, 6K. It's across the board. So everyone's kind of in half the community left, and half the community is still here. And half the community that's still here is bearish, right? So people are getting bored. People are getting bearish. And that's the general sentiment right now in crypto. It's a nice indicator to look at. It really ties into like the fear and greed index, I think. But YT Money said, yes, you were right. I was bored and I came today by accident. Pretty much. Bucks go Bucks. I think the Suns win game 1, man, personally. Man. Pretty crazy. Algo said, I'm not bear. I'm ape. Algo, you'll still probably own your Algo. You still own your own the graph. You still Algo the GRT ape. You're gonna change it back to Algo ape. Bitcoin so much spike. I don't know. This has got to be, like I've said, guys, and this has got to be one of the most boring times in crypto. And I think what makes it so boring, I think, is because we were just so conditioned and just so used to so much pumpage. Like the pumpage that we got over the last year was insane. I don't think a lot of people really realize the gains that really happened, right? It's insane. Like we saw, you just look at the coin market cap. Like I'm not gonna go through every coin, but you saw some insane gains. I think that's why it's so boring now. We're just so conditioned. But like back in you even go back to like even last year, 2019 time, like in general, we were going sideways here, other than the big crash we had in March. In this range right here, other than that big crash, which wouldn't have happened if what happened didn't go on in the world, we were going sideways for practically 67 weeks, right? That's insane. And it doesn't even, I wasn't even as bored back then as I am now, right? I don't know why I'm so bored now. I think it's just because, like I said, we're just so conditioned to bullish movement. I don't know. Like back here, it was just like, let's friggin' go. Bitcoin pumped 10%. We're pumped. Now Bitcoin pumps 5%. And we're like, all right, it's probably just sideways action. Cohen Prosh said, guys, if you want Jordan to read your messages in chat, use punctuations and proper capitalization. Yeah. I mean, I read the messages in here. People don't spam, right? Stuff like that. Bitcoin, the new stable coin. Pretty much, man. Pretty freaking much, dude. Pretty freaking much. David with the super chat said, can you look at IQ for me? Yes. Only because I have a high IQ. Just kidding. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Probably never, honestly. IQ. Let me actually make sure this is the right one, because I feel like Everpedia. IQ. Is this on? 1 cent. 1.3, 1.9. It's the right chart. 7 days. Is this the right friggin' chart? I guess it is, yeah. Yeah, it is. All right, just had to make sure that was the right chart. Because it says IQB. Or it's IBUSD, that's why. Anyways, what are we doing here for IQB? Let's see, man. I think you just got kind of a rising channel. It's very similar to BTC, right? You got kind of coming from a downtrend. You got kind of this rising channel. Unfortunately, it's usually a bearish pattern, but we see these break up to the upside all the time, just like rising wedges. Like we used to break rising wedges to the upside more than the downside, even though technically speaking, rising wedges typically break to the upside more. So keep that in mind. But this is typically bearish, and you would probably expect a bearish move back to the downside. And your breakout target on this would, it's not really a huge, I guess flagpole here, but you would take your extrapolation point and put it to the downside. I guess you would have a move to about back down to like 0.8 cents approximately. But it's really going to follow Bitcoin, right? But if you bounce here, probably look for a retest at the top of the channel. Simple as that sometimes, man. You look at it in a zoomed in view. Let's take top to bottom here. Just curious. Yeah, so you're getting some big resistance at the 382 Fibonacci too. So if you were to move up, just based off fibs, and it makes some sense, you have some resistance there. Next level will be 1.4 cents I would look at for an upside movement, okay? Get a nice little wick right about there and from June 15th. Someone poke BTC with a stick. BTC. Hold on. You know what I can use? I can use my pitchfork. Hold on. Let me use the pitchfork. BTC. Wake up, bro. Bro. Wake up. If you don't wake up, you're not getting a good, I'm not packing you a good lunch. All right? I'm giving you vegetables. Anyways, let me put that back before I hurt someone. Chris said, Angel said, can you look at BNB? Purdy, please. Yes. BNB, we can do BNB. I can definitely do BNB. Oh, BNB breaking out. Look at that. Getting some action on BNB. Finally, man. Let me get rid of this. And this. And this. All right. So BNB, we have a couple things to look at. Like, we obviously know we broke this big downtrend of resistance here. We came back down, retested it as support, and then we pumped, right? And on top of that, not only did we break that previous resistance, we also broke out of an ascending triangle, and we actually came back down and back tested that as well. There's actually, if you adjust this line a little bit, it's probably more down here, right about there. Perfect. So we broke resistance, flip it in support, and now we're pumping. What is the breakout target? Let's take the top to the bottom, and let's extrapolate that at our breakout point. It's going to give us a target. We already have it here. It's going to give us a target about 367, approximately. That's assuming, obviously, that Bitcoin doesn't take a major brown thing in the toilet, right? But yeah, I mean, BNB looks good. 344, 324, and in counting as we speak. You got room to run in the 4 hour. Perfect, man. Perfect. Next resistance, true resistance, is actually right where you're at right now. Funny enough. Now, if we take our fibs, I'm actually going to look at it from this point of view. Yeah, fibs, sometimes the fibs just don't make sense to use, guys. Like right now, like right here, it just doesn't make sense to use. So I'm just going to look at basic support and resistance. And that's going to be right here, it seems like. 328 might have some resistance. 328.28, give or take a few cents. But, I mean, you're going there for BNB. You're going. Purdy, please. Just because you said purdy, Angel. Chris Rain said Luna is pumping. Can you give me some levels to watch for, please, kind sir? I can give you so many levels. So many levels. Now, it's only if you also help me poke Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going to get these to really pump. But at Luna, wow.
Strap up. We're going to the moon.
Look at Luna. Altcoins are waking up. Altcoins are waking up. I guess altcoins are the place to be right now. You guys got to let me know when these coins are pumping, man. I'll look at these. But yeah, I mean, you broke this resistance and this pink resistance coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4. After you broke that, you were off to the freaking races. You crushed this first resistance like it was butter, like it didn't even exist. And next resistance, I could see you pumping all the way up to 788. I mean, just looking up, I mean, you might have some little resistance at like 726. Get some highs there, but as long as you don't get too overbought, the hourly's getting up there. The hourly's getting up there. So always keep in mind the RSI levels, but I could see you pump into 788. And you might get some resistance, like I said, right here at about 735. You got a couple of highs from that area. So watch out for these couple areas, but Luna looks good. Looks really good. So let's see, yeah. And you already broke your golden pocket too. You already broke your 0.618. That's really good. Man. Where are these alt gains at? Where the alt gains at? Where the alt gains at? Where they at? If you guys are new to the stream, make sure you guys subscribe. We're here every day from 7 to 10. I don't know how many new people are in the stream, but we actually just hit 43,200 subscribers. So thank y'all for who subscribed today. We're here every day, and we just kind of hang out, talk crypto, talk a bunch of stuff. We talk crap. We talk crap to Shiba owners. We talk crap to I don't really talk. I don't talk crap to Shiba owners. I just talk about Shiba. Other than that, we're all friends, right? Bears and bulls. Everyone is welcome in this stream. It's not just It's not just Moon Boys. It's not just doom and gloom boys. We play both sides. We look at the bearish and the bullish stuff. I'm bullish long term. I'm a little bearish short term. So I'm on both sides of the fence. Everyone knows this. So come on, come join. I'm trying to do my pitch here. Come join, come all. The only thing I shill on my channel, is subscribing. Right? Oh man. You know it starts getting around like 9:15, 9:30 when I start talking out of my butt. Thank you, Cal. I'm a funny guy. Fantasy shout out. You got some ill custom music from Jordan's stream on there. Yeah, like I said, I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes. I had like 10 people send me like 4 or 5 different music and things like that. So I'm going through it, deciding what I want to use. Like at the end of the day, I can't use everyone. So if I don't use your stuff, I don't want you to get offended. But I had like 10, if not more, people send me stuff. So I'm going through it, see what I want to add, and should be up sometime, probably later this week. But I'm ready to go to the moon. Should we poke Bitcoin again with the pitchfork? What do you guys think? It worked a little bit. It pumped a little bit after we poked it with the pitchfork. You know? Thank you, Nomads and Exivaya, for subscribing, man. Appreciate it, dude. As always. Have you looked at Matic? No, I haven't looked at Matic. We'll look at Matic, actually. It's a good idea. So we had a bunch of people asking about Matic, so it makes some sense to look at it. So Matic, we were looking at this longer term symmetrical triangle, right? So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistance points, and you had 1, 2, 3 support points, right? So right now you're kind of getting squeezed in between the two. So it looks like you're right at that resistance right now. If you can break that, it's going to be extremely bullish for Matic. And I think with what we're seeing altcoins doing right now, I think it's likely Matic does break this. Now it's obviously going to assume that, you know, Bitcoin does something, right? But I think, or doesn't do something. Even if Bitcoin moves sideways, I think Matic will break out. As long as Bitcoin doesn't dump, I think Matic will break out. But overall, if we do break out, I think first resistance would be about 124. But overall, like our measured move out of this isn't something insane, right? So top to bottom, it's going to give us, say if we break out within the next couple 4 hours, I mean, a $3.12 breakout target, sounds kind of insane. It's not going to happen overnight. That would probably be a multi-week breakout target. But yeah, I mean, you're right at that resistance right now, man. So we'll see if you break it. We will see if you break it. You could actually probably draw this like this. And it probably makes actually even more sense. You take it from the candle body lows. Yeah, I like that. Which even when you're coming up to an apex. Coming up to an apex here. Pretty damn soon. Probably within, by tomorrow. Or probably, looks like by Thursday morning. We should see a breakout from Matic. If we break this to the downside, I think like, we looked at this the other day. I think on the 4 hour, I think like $1.01 would be your first support we'll look at. But we'll go over more if the time comes. A new coin, Felipe, what is this? A new coin called Aldoge is coming. 250K MC, $100 holders, launched yesterday, already plus 400 in Geico. Not yet on CMC and CoinCo. You guys want to go check out Aldoge? I don't know. Apparently now there's a neighbor Aldoge. There's a Mama Doge, there's a Dada Doge, there's a Baby Doge, there's a Doge. Now there's an Al George, an Al George. Now there's an Al Doge. So the neighbor down the street, Al, now has his own Dogecoin. So watch out. Watch out. Sarita, you not buying anything? I haven't really bought anything lately either. I mean, I've been kind of sitting on the sidelines. I'm kind of happy with my accumulation during this last like 2 months. I probably won't buy anything unless we see any other more substantial dips. Like my next buy order for BTC is until 28K, and I won't buy anything. Probably won't buy anything else unless we drop that low, or we stay in this place for a considerate more amount of time. Aldoge. He said, Algo said I'm in. Oh man. He said it's AI Doge. I said Al Doge. That's too funny. That's too funny. There's too many Doges, man. How do you keep up with all these Doges? There's like a 10,000 Enus too. It's like someone's like, I invested in Enu. Which one? There's like 50 of them. Anyways. I'm dead right now. Someone asked for something. Hold on. Before I forget. Is Baby Doge over? I don't know. What's Baby Doge up to? What's Mama Doge up to? What's Papa Doge up to? It's crazy. Man. Maybe we need some regulation. I agree. Like, as much as I don't think regulation would be good for crypto, I think at the end of the day it might be. Though if people want to keep investing into meme coins, I don't have no problem with it. And they can do what they want to do. But dude has been asking for Algo. Proud gun owner. Oh, what's up, man? I'll do Algo for you, dude. Algorand. Let's see what Algo is doing. Ah, man. Algo. Al Doge. Like I'm just picturing some neighbor down the street. Hey, I just made my own Dogecoin. It's called Al Doge. And then Baby Doge is sitting in the carriage like, I'll invest in Al Doge. We're all a family. All right, Algo is, you're coming down here. You got a rising wedge. which we're either seeing these coins in rising wedges or we're seeing them in rising channels, both bearish patterns. This should break down to the downside based off typical technical analysis, but as we've seen, we're seeing a lot of other altcoins break to the upside, right? So if you looked at this in more of a zoomed in view, let's go to the 1 hour. You could have some type of, cup and handle here, right? A cup and a handle. And if you break this general neckline, now it's an upward sloping neckline, which I like better on some of these cup and handle patterns. I think that's actually more bullish when you get these upward sloping cup and handles, right? So, if we come up here, break this neckline, I think that'd be pretty bullish for algo, zooming in a little bit. But if you zoom out, I mean, you are in a falling wedge or a rising wedge, which is typically bearish. And the breakout target would be down here somewhere, right? Would be down there at about 72.95. So keep that in mind, guys. Weird cousin Al. Cal Chahal said, can you look into Theta and tell me what's going on? You are really funny and enjoy your streams. By the way, it's coming home. Come on, England. What's going on, Cal, man? Appreciate the kind words. I'll look at Theta for you. And I don't know what you're talking about. By the way, it's coming home. Come on, England. I'm not sure if you're talking about maybe soccer or something like that. I don't watch soccer, unfortunately, but I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I can't say the same thing about my sports teams, though. Pats were awful. And the Celtics were pretty miserable, too. But, that's besides the point at this point, right? But yeah, what was it? Theta? Uncle Doge. We got Uncle Doge now. There is a baby Doge. Yes, there is. Soccer, yeah. Good luck, man. I hope you win it. I hope you win it. Theta. Let's look at Theta. Theta. What's Theta up to? Oh, we looked at this earlier. That makes that nice and easy. I think we're looking at some sort of hourly symmetrical triangle here. We had one tiny little fake out to the downside. I'm not too worried about that, though. But yeah, looks like you're getting pretty close to a apex on this, right? Looks like by tomorrow morning, you should break out of this. Upside target, I see as like 646. That's your breakout target. Downside target, 587. And that's really what you're waiting for. And on a lot of these altcoins in general, like you're just waiting for breakouts. You could also maybe make an argument that you're maybe in some type of ascending triangle. Now that I look at this again, we have some sort of flat line of resistance. Something like this. We have 1 touch, 2 touches. And now you're just kind of making higher lows. If you break this to the upside, it would be pretty similar breakout target. Instead, if you break this horizontal kind of sloping resistance, that breakout target would be like 631 or 663, if I could read correctly. I said 631. Oh, man. Cardano chain? Should I make a Jord Doge, or a Jord, a Doge Jord? Anmol wants dot. Anmol, I'll look at it for you, but don't just at me. All right, don't at me. Just look at your coin. I'll do it for you this time, right? Because I'm feeling kind of nice today. But don't at me, just for the sake of me getting your coin. All right. You guys are funny in the chat, dude. What was it, 930? Dots. Right at resistance, too. Right at resistance. I mean, this one, it's more of a 3-touch resistance, I guess. You have 1, 2, 3, and now you look at you're right at that resistance again. All these altcoins are literally right at their like major resistance points. It's pretty funny. So if DOT breaks this, that's going to be extremely bullish. Obviously, this inverse head and shoulders didn't really work out the way we wanted to, but nonetheless, break this resistance. We obviously got to get back above this, which has been kind of a pain in the butt for us. But if you see this, like not only are we right at resistance, but we're also making higher lows, which probably means we're probably going to break this to the upside, as we are having some sort of ascending triangle right under resistance. So I think if we break above this resistance, like, it's a good point that we break to the upside. And at least initially, I think our breakout target for this would be something similar, approximately about 2062. But we got to break both these resistance points first. We got room to run on the 1 hour and 4 hour, so we're good there. I don't see any bearish divergence on either one either. So at least at this point, maybe you might have some bearish divergence. No, you don't. You're good. You're good. So you don't have no bearish divergence. So most likely you're going to break out here, assuming Bitcoin doesn't, right? But McDonald Doge, James, no way, dude. I have to invest in that. That's my company. Well, there's a McDonald's coin. This they have to put this project is not affiliated with McDonald's food company. McDonald's coin, huh? The power of the community-driven McDonald's coin drive-through game. There's a McDonald's coin drive-through game? The heck? What the heck is that, man? Some of these stuff, dude. Like, how do they come up with some of this stuff? McDonald's coin. And McDonald's drive-through game. What do? Like, play the game? Oh, you have to, like, make their burgers and stuff on the game. So you're just, like, spam tapping it, and you're just flipping burgers. Working at the drive-through. Taking orders. That'd be pretty funny. Dude. Been too much. All right, guys. Bitcoin's doing a fat nothing burger today. Really, this actually all day today has been pretty much a nothing burger, to be honest. It dumped. I started streaming, did nothing. It's pretty much done nothing the entire day. So I'm gonna get off. Probably expect a big pump or a big dump as soon as I get off. No morning stream tomorrow. I'll be on in the nighttime. I'm gonna take the day off tomorrow, just because, like, dude, there's nothing really going on. If Bitcoin starts having like some crazy move, I'll hop on in the morning tomorrow. But other than that, I'm not gonna hop on. But I will be on tomorrow, obviously, from 7 to 10. If you guys are new to the stream, make sure you guys subscribe as always. If you want someone that's on here consistently and always on every single day, that's your boy. We hang out and talk crypto. Go follow me on Twitter. Go join the Discord. Link should be in the description. If it's not, I'm sure one of the kind mods here can post the Discord link in the chat here. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Don't panic, excited crypto. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and don't panic, excited crypto. And go Suns, go Suns, go Suns. Sorry, Bucks fans. I'm rooting for the Suns. I'm rooting for Chris Paul. All right? Peace out, guys. Take care. Have a good night. Seriously. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.